And good morning, everyone. Good morning, Callum.
Hello.
How are we? How are we?
Good. I think we're good. It's been a busy week. Obviously, taking a week of doing other work is always rewarding, but then you pay for it somehow, don't you?
Oh yeah, I've been following some of the Twitter threads, but I was also very busy to not reply to any of these. But people were recovering, getting a proper amount of sleep finally, and yeah, it's been a week already. How time flies, right?
I know.
Last Friday we were still in Denmark, and now we are here. But we have a lot of things to cover because, as usually, and that's probably the positive side effect of one of many of Codegarden is like everyone is motivated, everyone has a lot of things on plate, everyone was inspired. Most of the people were inspired as well, and now we see some outputs of it, and that's great to highlight. And of course, we're still continuing umbraCoffee. It's not the end of the year for us, and yeah, today we want to summarize some of the findings from the web and generally discuss everything what happened in Umbraco. So hello everyone, and yeah, everyone is surprised about the week since Codegarden. Let us know if you can hear us and see us very well, because I finally reinstalled my browser, so it should be working. and yeah, we can jump straight to the news. A lot of summaries, Callum, right? A lot of blog
Yeah.
posts, a lot of everything basically. But we can start from Arnold's summary on LinkedIn, because he made a really long summary and highlight of almost everything that happened from the behind the scenes perspective of one of the organizers and one of the main people responsible for what happened there. And yeah, that's great. And I think as people who participated there, everything was already known, and we've seen it all. We've appreciated it already, both from the stage or during the event, because I think that everyone was aware that so much work was placed into that. And I replied some on the LinkedIn that all what we can wish for the Umbraco team is to just keep it as it was, because it's really hard to do something like that, and we all know that. Any highlights from your perspective, Callum, to Arnold's
Well,
post?
I think a highlight for me was that whilst I said this last week, but whilst it was hybrid for me as an in-person attendee, it felt like regular Codegarden. It felt the same, and obviously Arnold addressed this in his post. It's the first one since COVID. It's the first Codegarden in 3 years. It's the first one without Niels. There was a lot different, and to keep it still the same whilst different was very good. I also think, I mean, yeah, if you see some of the chaos that happened behind the scenes, like actually it didn't feel chaotic at all there. It felt very well organized.
No.
So
yeah, and that's also what we've mentioned to the HQ, that not everything is seen, but we know how it is behind the scenes when you organize an event, and then everyone was conscious, everyone was curious how it will be. And I think that everyone was also positively surprised. And maybe if there's someone who watched the attended online, who watches us today, share your experiences in the comments as well, because we've seen some of them already, and again, the quality was awesome. The application was also helpful, not only in the place to catch up on the sessions or everything was happening, but generally I heard that it was also very helpful when you attended online to just again break out whatever you were doing to attend the proper session, to just switch context, etc. So that's
I know that
amazing.
I know that the CanCon team they posted a few weeks ago about trying to gather some voices of people who'd been at Codegarden in person, some people who'd attended virtually, and get their experience. And I've seen on Twitter a few teasers, pictures of people with the CanCon team, kind of, I guess, doing little interviews. So I think we'll be hearing a few more of those, I guess, in the coming weeks or few days, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I wanted to highlight is this picture. All Codegarden first timers, because even during the event, we were walking out there and saying, "Holy damn, it's like impossible." So many. It felt like most of the stage most of the venue went on the stage to take this picture. Of course, it's awesome, and there were so many people who attended for the first time, and so many people who were such happy attendees after the break that this allowed them to attend, maybe for the various reasons. So that was amazing, and I would say again, a lot of people who we've met a lot of them as well, and that was just amazing.
We've got a nice comment in the chat there from Owen saying it was his first time. He loved it. He thought it was a really good job, and so yeah.
So right now we can just wait for the full.
Seeing so many first timers, so many.
Yeah. And from so many, of course, countries and places in the world, right? Our friends from India, friends from Australia, friends from states, and so many great locations again. So we all missed that. We all needed that, and that's exactly what it was made for. And coming to summaries, one of the new Umbraco MVPs summarized his experience from and we are talking about Corny here. Corny was awarded with an MVP. He was speaking at Codegarden. He was umbraCoffee guest as well during the Codegarden, and everything of that was summarized in a great and an extremely short also blog post highlighting everything what happened there with some pictures behind the scenes. So one of them, and yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. So if someone still didn't wrote up or summarize any of his or her experience at Codegarden, do that, because that's again from year to year we are going through this highlights and sections of blogs, and every time there is some other perspective on something, and either it's from the speaker's perspective, first timer perspective, old timer perspective as well.
I'm waiting for Marty Mark's famous post where he writes about how great it was, how good the lunch was, etc. We'll have to wait for that. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Another one is from Jeroen. His highlights from all, not only content-wise and technical-wise perspective, but also highlights for the very specific topics oriented around DXP, hardcore, headless, and general various other topics. And of course, we've also highlighted to Matt Storgensen's talk about the future of C#. This one is really great because I think I missed a couple of these talks, and again having some overview of the topic from the perspective of similar person who looks at the same things is again a highlight, a shortcut, and something what we really want to see more. And Jeroen said that he counted on composable DXP and had to remove it a couple of times. Why? was there any game related to that? I can't remember. So yeah, that's one of the greatest summaries of the talks as well. And last but not least, which we found this week, is coming from Matthew and Moriyama team, and highlights again Umbraco MVP Matthew Hart, with the whole story behind the profile, behind Matthew, and of course some great pictures of the MVP wall from this year. Did we miss any? I hope not. But if there were
I don't think so far yet. I think people have slowly been recouping their energy, and we'll post their experiences soon. I know that I was just going to throw it in there. Carol has organized a Twitter Spaces for Monday evening sometime to talk with MVPs new and old about what it's like being an MVP, how they got there. I guess a bit of the Codegarden experience in there too. So if that's of interest to you, tune in on Monday. I think 6 or 7 p.m. Europe, UK time. I'm not sure, but yeah, Monday.
What I was doing after Codegarden, I was checking LinkedIn posts, and that was such a boost of LinkedIn activities. Everyone was thanking. I don't know if LinkedIn became a new platform of choice for Umbraco community, but there was so many highlights and so many summaries of the Codegarden on LinkedIn that and probably algorithm on LinkedIn is that, like, your friend or someone who you follow liked something, you say it. For the couple of first days, I was scrolling through the feed and everything was Codegarden related, and that's also a lot of highlights and a lot of great stories of people who we met there either for the first time or for the not for the first time.
So I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm not personally, at least. And it's been something I've been told by a lot of people recently. Oh, you really should get LinkedIn. again. I had to get rid of it because of recruiters and being harassed before. However, for people in the chat, if you're an avid LinkedIn user, maybe for Umbraco news and other things, let me know. Is it worth joining? Is it good, or should I stick with Twitter? I mean, Twitter's been obviously very alive the past couple of weeks with Codegarden content. I logged into our company Twitter account as well at one point, and there was hundreds and hundreds of notifications there, which is great to see. And I think just a small snapshot of the activity that was going on Twitter as well. It trended in Denmark. Was it Umbraco or Codegarden? Something trended in Denmark, as it often does. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Again, I liked LinkedIn, and I'm not following the content out there, but it's great for building the chain of networking between the people. But yeah, I must say that probably the LinkedIn was the one that I found the most of the summaries. And again, whenever I've met someone on the Codegarden, I immediately connected with them on LinkedIn and Twitter. So that's two in one. So yeah, let us know if something outside of the recruiters is worth from your perspective to share there. Maybe we will share the umbraCoffee news out there and grab some new people who will attend, and we'll get to the 1,000 subscribers finally.
Because we are
our drastic and direct policy of begging for subscribers was
begging.
was
we might have to do. I think, Marcin, we probably need to work on growing the audience instead of growing the subscriber count, because probably everyone watching now is subscribed. If they aren't, they really should be.
That's true.
Subscribe, do it now, etc. But I think we're probably about at our limit. 821 as of today, so that's pretty good. We're close. It's our 5th birthday coming up.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of moving goals and deadlines. We said by Codegarden we've not hit that, but it's our 5th birthday coming up. 250 episodes in the first week of November. So let's try and get 1,000 by then. That
would be really, really great. Speaking about another achievement and something what was attached to the Codegarden as well, was the policy, and of course that the ecology portal that was and is constantly used by Umbraco, and an achievement made by the Umbraco community this year was that 33 people choose an option to plant a tree instead of get a T-shirt at Codegarden. So that's again a lower big number of trees planted, because that was something what was discussed.
I thought it would get more than this. I mean, I say this like I tick the box as well. I didn't, but I thought it would get more than 33.
Yeah,
with the number of attendees that were there, I thought we'd see a few more, but for future, maybe people didn't realize, maybe people didn't fill that form in and forgot or whatever. But it's good to see at least a few being donated. The Umbraco forest is 12 plus thousand trees at the moment.
Exactly,
a lot of trees.
Exactly. So again, it might be better communicated as well for the next years, because I believe that many people didn't even know that they can choose. And here it's still a nice number to share, but also a lot of people required some new wardrobe. They went there for some T-shirts after 3 years of not being at Codegarden. And maybe we can talk about Swag Shop as well for a while, because it was really successful and interesting as well to see all of it on the event itself. And from what I've seen, a lot of people were wearing hats, hoodies, T-shirts.
It definitely was the biggest selection of swag I think we've seen at an Umbraco event for a very, very long time. So very, very good. I personally came away with a nice hoodie. Very happy with the hoodie. It's a nice, very soft, nice new design, and a couple T-shirts as well. But
cool. We can jump to the technology finally after discussing people, and we've had, of course, a lot of announcements, a lot of new things, coincidentally synchronized with Codegarden. And of course, one of them was Umbraco version 10. And Rune, as usual, wrote a great summary of product updates on June 22nd. And of course, the Umbraco10 is highlight, and there's a new release, new stable, official release of Umbraco, together with Umbraco Forms and Deploy, with long-term support, and also announcements of umbraco9 end of life somewhere in time. I can't even remember the date for that, but
I think it's not that far away. It's 6 months or a
Let
year
me
away, I
find.
think.
Yeah, 24 months.
Was this?
No
Or
exact
has it
date, but we
already
need to
been ended?
calculate. And yeah, it's this is
I don't
no, too much math for today. So, but yeah, generally, unboxing Umbraco version 10. Of course, I must say that even during this week, I surprised a lot of people that Umbraco 10 is out. So it's not obvious for everyone. So we need to also mention that even though it might seem obvious for you who are watching here, but it's out. It's released together with a lot of products, and also Umbraco team did a great job with unboxing video of it. So you can watch out and see what's inside and what you can expect from installing it and running it on your end. But of course, not .NET 6 support, C# 10 support.
The Umbraco 10 a 9 to 10 upgrade path has been really fantastic. I think we've spoken about this a couple of weeks ago, maybe, but this week we tried it. A couple of other people tried it. I saw a chat from, I'm not in Discord, but someone sent me a screenshot of the chat where someone was encouraged to upgrade. He said, I've got half an hour free. Should I try and upgrade my V9 site to V10? And everyone said, yeah, do it. And 5 minutes later, he comes back going, well, I need something else to do for the next 25 minutes because it was really that straightforward. I managed to do a bunch of demos in my talk at Codegarden running the V10, whatever it is, the final RC, but I was using a load of V9 packages on there as well, which was really cool. So yeah, nice. Like it's very exciting. It does make V10 feel a lot less scary. I think it's a lot less of a major than most other majors have been, right?
Yeah. And again, it might seem be less scary for us who knows a lot of underlying changes. But I saw some scared people this week who said, "Oh, version 10, damn it, we were just considering version 9 upgrade or something like that." So it's not that it shouldn't be that scary. And we've been discussing it for a while that 10, 11, 12, 13 are right now at least just numbers and that just majors with a set of features and of course new upgrades, but it's not that scary anymore to upgrade, and we shouldn't be worried about it. But
I see this week, which I think flows nicely into some of the stuff we've got coming up, is people have been upgrading packages as well. And I know Aaron Sadler's been making loads of PRs to various packages to get those up to V10. And it seems pretty quick and seamless in some cases. In fact, I know Matt Wise did a pull request to Meganav, which I need to go back to, but he just bumped the minimum version on the NuGet dependency, and it just works. Like it's really, really great to see. The community's clearly, moving along, helping V10 become adopted pretty quickly.
Yeah, and again, it was a lesson learned from version 9 and 8 earlier, and now we are getting better in it, and we will be talking about this in a while, of course. But just to summarize, also the product update for all of those who missed the announcements or talks and keynotes during the Codegarden. There's a lot of changes that are coming slowly or faster to the platform or to the whole ecosystem, and one of these changes is for example GraphQL enabled for everyone. So some of the products parts are going back to the core or will be placed in the core, and one of these is GraphQL. There are some discussions about webhooks as well, right? And we've been informed that the webhooks will be also a part of the core. So there is a lot of
GraphQL's not going into core. GraphQL is still staying as it is.
Damn it.
So they're putting
it's for the hardcore plans. Yep, sorry.
It was previously not on the starter plan, but you did mention something there, which is true, which is that headless, so an open API, REST API read-only one will be going into the CMS. So yeah, there is things coming back into Umbraco from the product.
And that's what I meant. Of course, GraphQL was misleading thing here, but a lot of these things are going back, and webhooks as well. So we need to keep an eye on what will be ported back. And still, there's probably more of these things that will be crossing over from cloud, hardcore, and CMS teams right now being partially distributed. Upcoming release, Umbraco 10.1 is postponed as well. That was announced this week.
Only a week. We all know how the Danes love to take holidays all exactly the same time, and like Denmark shuts down for a month. So I think this is quite understandable. We'll let you have an extra week.
Yeah, exactly. And RFCs to be mentioned. Just new back office implementation is it has an open RFC to comment and contribute, and there is a mini RFC for block grid editor that was also opened recently, and we can all contribute back. And the term "the new grid" was mentioned multiple times during the code garden, and this is exactly something what we can all contribute to. And last but not least, updates to the roadmap. Some new things in now with custom grid editors for hardcore, and also Zapier integration that was started release, two-factor authentication for cloud and hardcore, and integration with the payment provider for Umbraco forms. That's interesting. So new in next, also custom this one, and the redirect. Cool. So that's about product update. Check it out. Of course, the link is here. We can't go through all of the detail here, but you are more than welcome to read the whole story with the links to supplying information and post as well. And speaking about Umbraco 10, that's also something what we've mentioned about the package movement to version 10, and maybe starting from Kevin Jump and all the Jumbo packages. So using translation manager, back office times, maintenance manager, linked packages, all of multi-awarded packages, very heavily used packages as well. They all have now version 10. That's exciting.
And some of these were community contributed as well. I know that Aaron contributed some of the fixes. Was it for the I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, of course the commercial ones, Kevin's as maintenance manager, that was it. The community ones, Kevin's obviously been busy upgrading. As always, we've kind of come to expect it, haven't we? That a new Umbraco release comes out and there's a new usync release as well. But yeah, it's looking great. It's looking great. It's good to see if you look back at how quickly V9 got off the ground. There was still quite a few packages lagging behind, and it's so great to see that from day one, basically, we've got all of these really great high quality packages available.
Yeah, I still think that Kevin has some kind of triggers onto the NuGet pushes from Umbraco HQ, and it triggers automatic pipelines on his end. There must be a magic behind the scenes somewhere.
Train some AI to update his packages.
GitHub pilot to rewrite the code. Yeah, the things like that. But no, all of these packages are here, and we can use them, and all of them, a lot of them were must-haves for a lot of builds. So it's exactly where it needs to be. Dan Booth also made a God mode package version for version 10, and I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of this package. It saved my life a lot of the times when we didn't have access to all what we needed to have access to, and also configuration wise in load balance environments, everything like that. Very useful package with a lot of configurations exposed. So glad to see that ready for version 10, because it's also something what is, at least from my perspective, considered as a must-have package in the installation now. So that's great. And another great package, and in this time starter kit from Polsil also got updated to version 10. And I don't know if you've noticed, Callum, but with a lot of demos and a lot of things, the clean starter kit was also used as a part of the.
It has been used. It probably is a better example than the very archaic V7. Now migrated all the way through to V10 starter kit. It definitely is a better example. So yeah, it's great to see this one supported.
Yeah, and a lot of people used it, and I know that not only for the demo purposes, but it was very awaited to be ready for version 10 again, and it is. So thanks, Paul, for sharing it. And yet another one, and this time another contribution by Aaron Sadler this week. It's Page Not Found Manager from Nick, also ported to version 10. So that's nice. So another one checked on the list, and one more. This time from Javon, Slack health check notification. So also very useful package. Also now ready for version 10. We'll be checking this check marks next to all the packages until we will get all of them ported. But that's going extremely fast now. And from the releases, there is one more release this week. Not
this is
for
from
version 10
HQ.
yet.
This is for
Yep.
this is part of their DXP effort, isn't it? Creating integrations
Yes.
that people need that are valuable. So this is a Google Search Console integration with the back office, just allowing you to
Yeah.
basically check if your URL is, I guess, indexed or yeah.
Yeah. And again, it also has, we've been talking a lot about this DXP efforts and integrations with tools. This one highlights also how to connect with external providers such as Google with using the external login in the back office. And as it was mentioned multiple times, also, this is made for us to not only use in this form, but also reuse or extend whenever we'll need to do something similar. So I think as a developer, again, we can dig into the code, see how it was done, see what and if we can reuse something of it and do something clever or more clever or different with the same providers, like in this case, Google Search Console. So always great to see that. And that's from releases. If we missed anything, of course, let us know, and we'll mention it next week. Two great videos being available on YouTube right now. One is recording from umbraCollab from yesterday, where Paul extended his package scriptwriter. I haven't watched it yet, but again, looks like a lot of people again contributing and listening and helping to collaborate on and followed what Paul did with this package. So to be watched on the list. And next one is how to run .NET Umbraco using macOS from Warren. So another from the series of Hackmate Do. And for whoever needs to run, and I know that there is more and more people right now considering using Max or using Max and now coming back to Umbraco. So
I mean,
that's a great
I'm doing that for anything new now. I'm working as much as possible on my Mac, and we've been preparing some ahead of a talk next week. We've been preparing some Umbraco running in containers and the DevOps side of things demos as well, which has been very interesting. Kind of again Linux-based cross-platform stuff. It's been very insightful.
Yeah, again, Docker, Kubernetes, all of the things that were highlighted during the Codegarden too. I was personally surprised with amount of people since the last time when the same questions were flying over. How many of them are considering using it, etc. Because it's right now we are almost up to date with all the technology stacks that are available for us, and no more excuses to not use the edge technologies now. So great to see that. Another one is an iris from Kevin Jump, and that's interesting. That I marked it already on my to-do list to follow, because it's the series of introduction to Razer class libraries. Callum, did you use any of these already?
And Kevin's very kind to call out Jason's excellent talk from Umbraco Together, where Jason sort of introduced us to the concept of a Razer class library in a package and how you can create really light, thin package with very little footprint in your application as well, and it gets around all of the nightmares with manually having that kind of target that builds and copies files, which interestingly we hit as being a really big problem when running that when trying to build a Docker container in a pipeline because of some permissions issues that we found. So the Razer class library, all the things. I think I saw a bit of discussion on one of my issue trackers this week about whether it should be turned into an RCL, and absolutely should. It's not difficult to do either. It's great to see this from Kevin. It's great to see this information going more and more out in the public, and of course Umbraco uses this as well now. They ship all of their back office as an RCL, so I think it's the way to go.
Yeah, I must admit I have a huge technical depth in my head regarding this one because I haven't followed that much the concept of RCLs. Same with the Blazor, and these two are on my list to explore more, because I hear a lot about it, but I haven't got my hands on yet on it. So that's thanks, Kevin, for bringing this topic.
Lars is saying in the chat, there's a really awesome feature of this, which is that you can, because the resources are embedded in the DLL but at a specific path, you can effectively override resources embedded in those DLLs by just creating a file at that physical path. And I had to do that to get something in my in my demo at CodeGarden to work as well. So if you ever need to, patch something or fix something in the core, like it actually, that's a really easy way to do it, and it's maintainable because you've just got one file. Then you have to maintain not a whole copy or a whole whatever. Yeah, it's really good. I can see it being hugely valuable for baselines. So if you have a solution where you say, oh, we've got a generic SEO partial that we ship with every client, and then wanting to override it for a specific use case, perfect. And Lars is saying it's testable, of course.
Yeah, it all reminded me as well the kind of approaches to theming and replacing or overriding things. And we've been going through that, Callum, right, in one of the projects in the past as well. So maybe not for this particular cases, but it's glad that we have this opportunity, and definitely all of the people like me who wants to know more can go and see Kevin's blogs and series, and again explore more. Jason's talk and all the work that all other community members did, Lars and everyone else who did it. Share what you've done, and we will be also following up and learning, because that's another new technology, new kid on the block, which we need to follow up. So that's it. And the next one is interesting titled blog post, Can Umbraco Save the World? And that's from Terence. Terence, and generally how we can save world with Umbraco. Did you come and read this whole article?
I've not read it. It was only tweeted out a short while ago, but I think the premise is the idea of like our software becomes more efficient,
energy
use less
efficient,
compute power, blah blah blah. This was inspired by an event that the great team at Nexa run called Camp Digital in the UK, which was yesterday, and I think Terence went along, and this this was spurred on by that. So it's a very interesting, thought-provoking article.
Yeah, and of course, in the world of efficiency, generally everything what consumes less is better, and less is more. So here, again, I need to dive more into numbers, but looks like there is an analysis of usage of energy by the resources connected to Umbraco 9 and Umbraco 10, and different ways of using it. Interesting topic, definitely to be checked, and link will be in the video description, so you can also check it out. And last but not least, interesting discussion about RCLs in the comments. We need to invite some guests for the next discussion. But there's also a new hire to be mentioned to Umbraco HQ in the United States suits department. So and that's Nix, who joined the team, and then will be growing the departments there, and generally bringing back not bringing back, but expanding whatever Umbraco is going to do in the US market, and not only.
I had the pleasure of meeting Nix at CodeGarden, and they were incredibly friendly, and it was very interesting because they're on the sales team and kind of driving that, but still have a software development background, or at least that's what they've studied. And if for anyone, I know Marcin, you didn't make it, but for anyone that was there for the Umbraco Lab session on Friday morning at CodeGarden, you'll have seen the Nix and Davis were up on stage, and they showed off something they've been working on. So it's really cool.
Yeah. I like this concept of having headlines with the .nix suffix. Yeah, that's really nice. So definitely looking for more of contributions and results of work being done there. And great to see expansions also on this market. And that's all from our list.
We have one more thing that wasn't on the list because it was a last-minute addition, but it's just to call out that the applications for Codecabin, which is a great event, literally end in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, midnight, as in, well, we've had this debate before, haven't we? What's midnight on the 8th? But I think what is meant is the end of the 8th, at the end of the 8th. So if you get your application in before the 9th, before the start of the 9th, you're okay. I think. Maybe Lucy can correct me. But a fantastic event, really worth signing up to. I know that Matt and Lucy have been posting on Twitter a lot this week, kind of sharing. Don't be scared to apply. It's a friendly space. It's really collaborative. A lot of Codecabin attendees have been singing its praises too. And I mean, I don't think this is an official thing, but a lot of people who've been to Cabin have become Umbraco MVPs. So Maybe it's
I
something
was going to say this is that.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's a great opportunity to get more involved in the community, to come away really inspired. I'd argue that even though it's a kind of short weekend, I came away from that buzzing with so many ideas before.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than, say, Codegarden or a festival or something. So yeah, go apply. You've got 2 weeks.
I was going to say it's a kind of MVP incubator or factory. This kind of stuff, and might be considered, because I completely agree. Most of the people who attended there, who we've recognized being there, became an Umbraco MVPs and stayed for longer. Of course, if they weren't staying yet in the community and being active, that's the most important. So we will remind about it, of course, next week as well. But this is all for this week. If we missed anything, as usually, let us know. But if not, subscribe, like, and follow our channel if you are not doing it yet, because we will be here on next Friday, highlighting everything what will happen since now till then. And thank you very much for being with us today. And yeah, wishing you all, and us all as well, the really nice rest of the day and the weekend ahead. So thanks, Callum. Thanks, everyone. And have a lovely end of the week. Cheers, guys. Bye.